The Korati High Council had deliberated for exactly 3 cycles before reaching their verdict. Humanity, they concluded, was too dangerous to exist. Ambassador Rubin stood in the crystalline chamber, her hands clasped behind her back as the council's spokesperson delivered the sentence. The translator implant in her ear converted the harmonic frequencies into words. That chilled her blood, in accordance with Galactic Statute 7 Alpha. Your species has been deemed a Category 5 existential threat. Extinction protocols will commence in standard rotation. Rubin's jaw tightened. On what grounds? The Korati, a species that had mastered stellar manipulation 10,000 years before humans discovered fire, gestured with one of its 6 crystalline appendages toward a holographic display. Images flickered into existence. Human colony ships, terraforming operations, defensive installations that bristled with weapons the galaxy had never seen before. You multiply too quickly. You adapt too efficiently. You refuse to accept limitations. The spokesperson's tone carried no malice, only the cold certainty of mathematics. In 400 years, you will outnumber the Korati. In 800, you will dominate this sector. In 1200, you will threaten the stability of the entire galactic order. So you'll kill us all? Rubin's voice was steady, but her heart hammered against her ribs. Genocide based on a projection? Not genocide. Prevention. Another appendage gestured, and the display shifted to show humanity's home system Sol. We have already positioned gravitational manipulators around your primary star. In 97 Earth days, Sol will undergo induced collapse. The resulting supernova will sterilize every human colony within 20 light years. Clean, efficient, final. Rubin said nothing. She simply stared at the Korati, memorizing every detail of its alien face, then turned and walked from the chamber. Hawley was the first to greet her when she materialized back aboard the human diplomatic vessel. Indomitable. He was young for a chief engineer, barely 30, with perpetually oil-stained hands and eyes that always seemed to be calculating something. That bad? He asked, reading her expression. 97 days, Rubin said quietly. They're going to Supernova Sol. The color drained from Halley's face. Earth, Mars, the belt, Titan Station, everything. 15 billion people. Rubin moved to the viewport, staring out at the infinite darkness. They've already started. The gravitational manipulators are in place. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then Hawley laughed a short, bitter sound. You know what the funny thing is? They think they understand us. They've studied our history, our psychology, our technology. They think we'll either beg for mercy or die with dignity. Rubin turned to face him. And we won't. Halley's smile was sharp as broken glass. Ambassador, they're trying to kill us by moving our star. So we're going to move it first. The galactic community had rules about stellar engineering. Strict ones. The Korati had spent millennia developing their gravitational manipulation technology, refining it until they could nudge stars like billiard balls across a table. It was the ultimate expression of their patient, methodical civilization. Humanity had possessed faster-than-light travel for less than 2 centuries. They'd had access to Korati stellar manipulation theory for barely 50 years. They weren't supposed to be capable of anything like what Hawley was proposing. The manipulators they've placed are pulling Sol toward gravitational collapse. Hawley explained to the emergency council that convened within hours. His fingers flew across holographic displays, sketching out equations and energy curves. But manipulators work both ways. If we can access their network, we can reverse the polarity. And then what? Admiral Chen demanded. We stop the supernova, and they just try again? No. Halley's grin widened. Then we move Sol, the entire star, and everything in its gravity well comes with it. The council chamber erupted into chaos. It was impossible, insane. Moving a star required energy outputs that would bankrupt a civilization. The calculations alone would take decades. Rubin silenced them with a raised hand. How long do you need? 70 days to crack their manipulation network. Another 15 to reprogram and amplify the manipulators. 12 days for the actual move. Hawley met her eyes. 97 days total. We'd finish with hours to spare. And where? Rubin asked quietly. Would we move it to? Halley's expression turned predatory. Right next to Korath Prime. Close enough that they'll see Sol in their sky every night. Close enough that they'll never forget what happens when you try to exterminate humanity. The Qorati detected the intrusion into their manipulation network on day 43. By then, it was far too late. Human hackers' minds that could hold 1,000 variables simultaneously, that thrived on chaos and improvisation, had already rewritten the fundamental operating parameters. The gravitational manipulators that were supposed to crush Sol into supernova instead began to sing a different song. On day 70, the Qorati High Council sent a priority transmission demanding humanity cease immediately. Reuben responded with a single word, no. On day 88, Sol began to move. It wasn't dramatic. Stars don't leap across space like ships in human entertainment, but slowly, inexorably. Humanity's sun dragging its entire solar system, like a mother carrying her children, began sliding through the fabric of space-time. Earth's telescopes captured the moment when the familiar constellations began to shift. Artists would spend centuries trying to capture the mix of terror and wonder on the faces, watching that ancient sky transform. On day 97, exactly when Sol was supposed to explode, it settled into a new orbit, a binary system with Korath's own sun. Hawley stood on the observation deck of Indomitable, watching the stars burn side by side. Reuben joined him, carrying 2 glasses of genuine Earth whiskey. They're screaming, she said conversationally, demanding we move it back, threatening sanctions, threatening war. Let them scream. Hawley accepted the glass, raised it in toast. They wanted to know what humans do when cornered. Now they know. Below them, Earth spun in its new home. 15 billion people who would wake tomorrow to an alien sun sharing their sky. The Qorati had tried to schedule their extinction. Humanity had rewritten the schedule. Reuben smiled. To humanity. We don't beg, and we don't die quietly. To humanity, Hawley echoed. We move the goddamn stars. They drank, and above them, Sol burned defiantly in its stolen sky.